So there I was, trying to make a stir-fry, and I realized I had a lion in my kitchen. Not a pet, not a prop, just there. Probably looking for the fridge. I thought maybe it was a new recipe, like lion stir-fry. But I'm pretty sure that's not on the grocery list. And also, I don't have a lion-sized wok. Then I remembered. I had left the door unlocked. And the lion. It's not a dog. It's not trained. It's a lion. And it's in my kitchen. I tried to reason with it. You can't just eat the pasta! You're not a carnivore! But I think it just said, I'm a lion. I eat pasta. In the end, I had to call the zoo. Not because the lion was dangerous. It was just curious. But the pasta, that was a whole other story.
So what exactly are we talking about? Well, imagine your kitchen, but instead of a blender, there's a lion. Not a blender with a lion face, a real, live, roaring lion in your kitchen with your blender. This isn't a cooking show. This is a survival show. The lion is not here to stir the pot. It's here to stir up trouble and maybe your life insurance policy. You think you can teach a lion to follow a recipe? You're trying to tame a wild animal with a list of ingredients. Spoiler, it's not going to end well, and don't even get me started on the cheese. A lion doesn't care about brie, it just wants to eat it, and then maybe eat your fridge, and then maybe eat your house. So we're not talking about cooking. We're talking about a kitchen apocalypse. A lion in the kitchen is not a culinary experience, it's a disaster waiting to happen. But hey, if you're into that kind of chaos, I'm your host. Let's keep cooking, or maybe just keep running. You think you're just making a stir-fry, but that lion is judging your choice of vegetables. It's like a food critic with a mane and a taste for revenge. Every time you try to chop an onion, it's like you're triggering a primal scream. You're not cooking, you're provoking a jungle beast. You're not just cooking, you're performing a sacred ritual. The lion is watching, waiting, and it's judging your life choices with every simmer and sizzle. Deep down, you secretly hope the lion will just eat the food and leave. But it's not that simple. It's a carnivore, and you're not on the menu. You start to realize that cooking with a lion isn't about food. It's about power, control, and the fragile line between bravery and madness. So you thought the lion was a metaphor? No, this is real. In ancient Egypt, they had these big cats in the kitchen, not for cooking, but for supervising the bread. They'd sit there, judging every loaf like it was a performance art piece. Then came the Romans, who were like, oh, we've got a lion here, let's throw a party. They'd put the lion in the kitchen during feasts, and the guests would bring food, and the lion would just take it. Like literally. No rules, no reservations. In the 1800s, some people thought lions were great for pest control. They'd put them in the kitchen, and if a mouse dared to enter, the lion would just look at it. Like, are you serious? I've seen better in a video game. Then, in the 20th century, someone finally realized, lions in the kitchen are not a good idea. They're not just destructive, they're like a food critic with a 3-star rating, but with claws. So, we started putting them in zoos, and if you're lucky, you'll just get a lion in a kitchen in a cartoon. So, imagine your kitchen, but instead of a chef, there's a lion. That's the core idea. You're not cooking, you're surviving. You think you're making a steak? No, you're making a lion's dinner. And it's not going to be polite. If you put a banana on the counter, the lion will think it's a fruit basket. And then it will eat the whole counter. Even your fridge isn't safe. The lion will open it, eat the milk, and then ask for seconds. So, in short, cooking with a lion is like trying to bake a cake with a bear. It's messy, loud, and everyone ends up eating the kitchen. So you're thinking, hey, I've got a lion. I've got a kitchen. What's the deal? Well, first things first, your lion needs a tiny, padded cage, not a regular cage. Think of it as a luxury penthouse with a view of the fridge. But wait, the lion doesn't just sit there. It's got a habit of wandering, so you've got to put a leash on it. Not just any leash. This is a silk leash with a tiny bell, so it sounds like a jazz band when it moves. Now, the lion's got a thing for the fridge. Not just any fridge. This is a temperature-controlled, lion-safe fridge with a built-in GPS so you can track where it's hiding. Lastly, you need a remote control. Not just any remote. This is a lion-shaped remote with a button that plays a lion's roar when you press it. Perfect for when the lion gets too curious. Okay, so the lion's claws are sharp, but they're also kinda like a really bad alarm clock. They keep poking things, like the counter, the fridge, and my pride. The lion's tail is long and floppy, but it's also a poor conductor of heat. So it's always swinging around like a confused metronome, knocking over utensils and burning my hand. The lion's roar is loud, but it's also a terrible seasoning. It's like adding salt to a soup that already tastes like a haunted house. And finally, the lion's breath is warm. But it's also a really bad oven. It's like trying to cook a pizza in a fireplace while a dragon is arguing with a robot. So the lion's not just sitting there waiting for meat. No, it's actually been trained to do the dishes. You know, the whole lion's a domesticated chef thing. It's got a little apron, a tiny sponge, and a sippy cup filled with water. The trick is, you never actually tell it what to do. You just point at the sink and say, "Lion, you're in charge of the cleanup." It'll stare at you for a moment, then start scrubbing the counter with the intensity of a maniacal housewife. But here's the real kicker. It doesn't just do the dishes. It's also got a soft spot for lemon wedges. It'll startle at the sound of a lemon being sliced, then run over and grab one with its paw, like it's a tiny, adorable, and very confused waiter. And if you ever try to take the lemon away, it'll stare at you with those big, soulful eyes and then just sit there. You can't take the lemon away. It's not a toy. It's a sacred object. The lion's entire soul is tied to that lemon. So, in the end, you're not cooking with a lion. You're cooking with a lion who's also a dishwasher, a waiter, and a lemon worshiper. And it's honestly the best thing that's ever happened to your kitchen. Okay, so the lion isn't just a menace, it's also a walking science experiment. Every time it licks the counter, it's conducting an impromptu chemistry demo on your kitchen surfaces. And let's not forget the physics of it all. The lion's body heat is basically a mini geothermal generator, constantly warming up your fridge and making your ice cubes melt into existential dread. Plus, every time the lion gets excited about a recipe, it's basically a chaotic reaction in a lab. All the ingredients are now in a state of emotional turmoil. And if you think about it, the lion isn't just a wild animal, it's a wild variable in your kitchen equation. You can't control the variables, and you definitely can't control the lion. So imagine if your kitchen was a lion's den. But instead of a lion, it's a very confused, very hungry toddler with a cheese grater. The lion would be the toddler, and the cheese is the pasta, the butter, the olive oil, all the things you don't want to be shredded. The lion would ask for more salt, then demand a side of garlic bread, then throw a tantrum when you say you don't have any. In the end, you'd be left with a burnt casserole and a lion who now thinks you're his personal chef. So if you ever see a lion in your kitchen, just remember, it's not your friend. It's your worst cooking partner ever. So I thought I was being clever by letting the lion in the kitchen, but turns out he's not a fan of my spaghetti sauce. The whole thing started when I forgot to put the lid on the pot. He sniffed it, then sniffed me, then decided I was just a giant meatball. I tried to reason with him, but he only responded by knocking over a tower of cheese cubes. I mean, I was trying to make fondue, not a lion's breakfast. The cheese started to melt, and the lion looked at me like I was the one who ruined the recipe. Then, out of nowhere, he started licking the counter. Not the counter, every single surface. I realized he wasn't just hungry, he was trying to clean the kitchen. Like he was doing a deep clean, but with his tongue and a violent sense of urgency. I tried to stop him, but he just turned around and started licking me. I wasn't sure if it was affection or if he was trying to get rid of my garlic breath. Either way, I ended up covered in sauce, cheese, and a suspicious amount of lion saliva. Now I know what you're thinking. Why would you cook with a lion? Well, I thought I was being brave, but in the end, I just made a really expensive, very messy fondue. And the lion, he's still licking the walls. I think he's trying to find the last bit of cheese. So, first myth, lions don't like to cook. That's not true. Lions are the kings of the jungle, and they're also the kings of the kitchen. They've been known to flip pancakes and stir soup with their paws. But here's the real kicker. Lions don't actually need to cook. They can just eat raw meat and be perfectly fine. Cooking is just a human thing. A very, very dangerous human thing. Also, lions are not really into the whole cute little kitten vibe. They're big, powerful, and have a serious I own this kitchen attitude. But let's not pretend that cooking with a lion is a great idea. They might accidentally set the fridge on fire, or worse, they might just eat the whole recipe. In short, the idea that lions don't like to cook is a myth. A very dangerous, very false myth. And now, I'm going to take a break and let the lion cook me dinner. So there's this myth that lions are great at chopping onions, but I've seen a lion cry so hard from onions, it looked like it was mourning its own mother. It wasn't crying from sadness, it was crying from the stink. I tried to teach it how to stir a pot, but it just stared at the soup like it was a rival in a cooking competition. It looked like it was judging me, not stirring. So yes, the idea that a lion could be a great cook is like saying a shark could be a great baker. Both are bad ideas, but sharks at least have a plan. The only thing a lion is good at in the kitchen is making a mess. And I mean, a really good mess. Like a mess that could win a messy contest. So the myth is busted, but the mess, that's a whole new level of cooking. And honestly, I'd rather have a lion in the kitchen than a bad cook. You think your kitchen is safe? You're wrong. Your blender is a cage. Your oven is a prison. Your cutting board is a death trap, and that's just the countertops. Ever seen a lion in a toaster? It's like a horror movie with a plug. The smoke alarm is the only thing louder than the roar. You're not cooking, you're summoning. You think you're safe because you're not in a jungle? You're wrong. The lion is in your kitchen. It's in your cereal. It's in your coffee. It's in your dream. Your fridge isn't a fridge. It's a portal. Your microwave isn't a microwave. It's a portal. Your sink isn't a sink. It's a portal. You're not cooking. You're feeding a beast. So next time you're making toast, remember, you're not just making toast. You're making history. You're making a lion's breakfast. And you're the one who's going to regret it. So one day I decided to make a stir fry. My lion, Leo, was sitting at the table, looking like he was waiting for the main course. I tossed the veggies into the wok, and he just stared at me like, "You're cooking for me now? All right." I flipped the pancake, and he jumped up, knocking over the salt shaker. It went flying, and he caught it midair like it was a baseball. He took a pinch, sniffed it, and then licked his paw like it was a gourmet snack. I tried to grab him, but he was too fast. He ran into the cabinet, knocked over a spice rack, and started sniffing through the seasonings like he was a food critic. I laughed, but I could feel the kitchen getting more chaotic by the second. Finally, I gave up and let him eat the whole meal. He finished with a satisfied roar, then curled up on the counter like he owned the place. I just shook my head, thinking, this is the weirdest kitchen I've ever been in. So I tried to make a lion cook with me, and it didn't go well. I think it was the garlic. It smelled like a jungle party, and it was asterisk not asterisk invited. It tried to flip a pancake, but instead of flipping, it just ate it. And then it tried to flip a pancake again. And then it ate that one too. I even tried to make a lion-shaped pizza, but it just ate the whole thing. It wasn't a pizza. It was a lion. It was a lion-shaped pizza. It asterisk was asterisk the pizza. I think the real danger isn't the lion cooking. It's the lion asterisk thinking asterisk it's cooking. That's when the chaos starts, and the destruction, and the existential dread. In the end, I just gave up. I called a fire department, a chef, and a therapist. The lion was fine. I wasn't. And the kitchen, it was a burnt-out, lion-shaped hole. I tried to flip the steak, but the lion lunged forward and knocked the pan into the fridge. It's now a frozen, sad piece of meat with a lion's paw print on it. The smoke alarm started screaming, and the lion just stared at me, looking confused, like it had no idea it was supposed to be scary. The fish landed on the counter, and the lion looked at me like it was asking, did I just make a mess? Did I do something wrong? I finally got the lion to stop by offering it a whole chicken. It ate it in one bite, then looked at me like, what's for dessert? Now I'm stuck in a kitchen with a lion, a fridge full of frozen meat, and a fish tank that's completely empty. This is not how I plan to cook dinner. You think the brochure says lion in kitchen? No problem. It doesn't mention the 3 a.m. meatball rebellion. One moment you're slicing onions, the next you're dodging a lion with a spatula. The lion isn't just hungry, it's got a taste for your favorite casserole. You'll wake up to find your Sunday roast missing, and the lion has replaced it with a perfectly grilled steak on your forehead. The lion will start to take over your cooking style. You'll wake up to a kitchen full of meatballs, but they're not your recipe. They're the lion's, and they're spicy. Very spicy. You'll comment this emoji if you made it to the end.